How to take care of your Chetak, your electric scooter, so that it will give you a very long life. This is a doubt and this is a requested question. So I am answering that in a separate video. How do you get the maximum life out of your Chetak? How do you get the maximum life out of your battery of your Chetak? This is my experience, and we have had two Chetaks. This is the older one, the older series, and this is the latest one, the 3501. And this has been nearly 2 years, and this is the latest one. You have seen all the videos about it. So with my experience and with my understanding of this industry, because I am also into solar, I am one of the biggest integrators, solar EPCs in this state. So that is my experience. I deal with lithium batteries in and out, and I deal with the companies who produce these things, and I know the ins and outs of the industry. So with that experience also, I'm going to give you my idea or my outlook on how to get the maximum life out of your electric scooter's battery and how to take care of it. So the first thing you have to note is the average cycles, the maximum cycles, the actual battery which has been used. We know the composition of it, but the make of it has not been disclosed. But I'm assuming that Bajaj is using a very high quality battery, because generally the manufacturers of EVs actually use very high quality batteries. The battery that is used on EVs, that is electric vehicles, electric cars and electric scooters, are on a different assembly line. They are the top quality batteries. You are supposed to get around 5000 to 6000 cycles of charge from these batteries. If it is a little bit of a lower grade, it will be 5000 cycles. The best batteries actually get 6000 and above. That is what you have to understand. So 6000 cycles of charge from the battery, we are assuming it's available. How do you get the maximum use out of it? So the first thing you have to note is, if you want to get to this 6000 cycles, you want to use the maximum battery, and you don't want to get your battery eroded before time, before its estimated life. And the estimated life, if you take 6000 cycles for one cycle a day, that is about 17 years. That is why in the previous video, I have told you that you can get about 15 years plus. Even if you do one cycle a day, if it is 6000 cycles, it will actually take about 17 years for you to run out of those cycles. But how do you get the maximum life? Let's get into it. I know I dragged on a lot with the explanation of the battery, but how do you get it? So first thing you have to note is, you have to charge between 20 and 80, or at the max 95%. Because how the charging works is, not all batteries, even though they are supposed to charge at an equal rate, as the scooter gets older, as the EV gets older, your batteries will take up charge in different rates. If you keep it at about 85 to 95 maximum charge, that is, you charge it and you turn off the charger by 85 or at the max 95, that should actually keep all the batteries in a good state. Because if you are trying to reach 100 is the most heavy load on your battery, 100%. So when you are trying to get the last few percentage of charges, that's actually heavy on your battery. If you don't need the full range, for example, on the 3501, it gives about 120-125 kilometers on a full charge. I don't necessarily need it all the time. So what I do is, I will charge from 20 to 80, and I will use it that way and come back. Even if it is at 30 or 35 or something, I want a little more charge, I can charge it for an hour, use it like that. Intermittent charges will not cause any problems to these batteries. The chemistry is that way. After this, what you have to make sure is, you should never ever run your battery below 10%. As I said, charge it from 20 above. So as soon as you reach 20%, or 18, at the max 15%, don't let it ever run below 10%. I have never ever taken this scooter below 10%. The reason is, as I said, how the charging works is, all batteries should be equal, but that's not how it is. It's just nature that you are going to have some batteries which are strong and some batteries which are weak. So those weak batteries which will get depleted first, they will be affected adversely, because your total battery bank capacity is low. That is the reason why I'm telling you, don't go below 10% ever. If it goes below 10%, charge it immediately. Don't use the scooter even a little bit below 10% if possible. I know there can be emergency cases, but if possible, don't ever take it below 10%. Make it in your mind that I don't want to take this scooter below 10%. Now there are people who have done, extensive range tests and all this, and they have taken the scooter below 10%, and you will find a lot of people on YouTube who have done that, YouTubers who are there. I'm not a YouTuber, as you know. I'm just a owner of the scooter. I bought it myself and I'm just reviewing it. I'm just giving you videos and my tips of it. So these people have taken it below 10% multiple times, and there is one creator which I'm not going to point out, nor am I going to name, because I don't want to get into any legal implications. But he has taken it multiple times below 10%, and finally his battery has coughed out. Then he had to wait for Bajaj was good. They actually changed the battery, so that's commendable. But it is documented that this guy has run it below 10% multiple times and run it to 0%. That is the worst thing you can do to your battery. So as I said, be very careful with your battery. This is a replenishable source, a replenishable thing, but you have to be careful with it. Don't be overexertive on it. Now that you understand about the charging, the next thing you have to focus on is drive smooth. I've touched on it in the previous video also. When you're driving, drive smooth. Don't over accelerate, not constantly running the accelerator pinned maximum speed, things like that. Obviously that is going to put a lot of load on your battery. So when you're driving, drive it smooth. It should be at a leisurely place. I'm not saying that don't accelerate at all or something, but just accelerating, full acceleration, then stopping, full acceleration, then stopping, this kind of driving, don't do that, because anything that is going to just get your mileage low on a normal IC scooter, similarly don't do that on this. It doesn't show the effect directly, but it will show it on your range. That thing is bad for your battery because it is actually putting undue stress on it. So just use it carefully, just use it at a very gentle way. Don't be very harsh with your scooter. You have put your hard-earned money on it, so be very careful with it. The last thing that you have to make sure of is when you are washing the scooter, don't put water on the electrical components. Now what do I mean by this? Don't quote me out of context that I said don't wash the scooter or something. No, I said you can wash the scooter, you can clean it, all that is okay. But when you are washing the scooter with your pressure pump especially, don't go under the scooter and start shooting water up. So under the scooter up to your battery, that places, don't hit it with your pressure pump. The reason why I'm telling you is there are some sensitive electronic components. Your charger is actually up here. So all those things are there. There are some sensitive electronic components. Don't hit the water onto it. I know that Bajaj in their demo have submerged the scooter, but submerging is okay because you are not having any water pressure there. But if you are running water up, and that is actually, the pressure washer is actually heavy, so don't hit the scooter with the pressure washer directly from under, and just hit the electrical components. You can wash it from up. Be sure that you wash the underside also, but be very gentle with it when you're especially washing the electrical components, things like that. The places where they are, you already know. Be careful with that. These are the only things you have to be careful about when you are using your electric scooter. If you follow these points, I'm sure that you're going to get a very long life with your electric scooter. You should be happy with it and you shouldn't have any issues with it. So this is my experience, my understanding of these lithium batteries, or the battery that is specifically used in the Chetak. So the composition of it, according to that, I have given you these answers. As I said, you don't need to worry about charging it in between. Will that harm my battery? No, nothing like that is going to happen. You can charge it from anywhere between 20 and 80%. Charge it as many times as you want. So that is not harmful for your battery. In fact, that is good for your battery. Charging it on the top side and the bottom side is bad, as I said. Again, just touching on it before ending the video. So just be careful with all these things and your scooter should give you a long life. And as per my estimations, this should actually last 15 years or above also, if you are careful with it, because the battery has the capability. Of course, everything else depends on your usage and also the temperature at which you are using it at. If you are living at a place where very high temperatures, desert kind of climates, that is going to take a little bit of battery life overall, but it is not going to be so significant that you are going to be obsessed about it, what to do, careful about. just be gentle with it. That's it. Just be careful with it and you should be happy with it. If you have any more questions, comments, and I'm sorry that this video dragged on for a little long, but I had to explain all of the points. So if you have any comments, suggestions, whatever you want, leave them in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Jace for TopEvt. I'll see you in the next video.